Hey guys, it's Tom Shillue. I wanted to talk about the Joel Osteen Lakewood Church story. We covered it extensively on my radio show. I love this story because to me it is the very essence, the very definition of fake news. And I've said that on my show, and I said it today on Kennedy, and I want to clarify what I mean when I'm talking about that. The story is based on a false premise, all right? It all began on Twitter. Joel Osteen tweeted out prayers, our thoughts and prayers, or whatever he said. He tweeted out prayers from him and his wife to the victims of the flooding in Houston. People started snarky tweeting back to him saying, "We don't want your prayers, we want your action. What are you doing? You're a millionaire," etc., things like that. Then people started showing pictures of his church, and they were saying, "Why isn't the church open as a shelter?" Okay, so it all started on Twitter. People on Twitter decided his church should be open as a shelter. They had put out a statement from the Lakewood Church. They said that they were closed because the church was inaccessible. People said that that was a lie, that the church wasn't really flooded. They showed pictures of the church, said, "Look, it's not flooded. I don't see any flood. Do you see any flood?" It was inaccessible. I talked to people on the ground who were there. All around the church, there were many streets that were inaccessible. So the getting to the church was difficult, inaccessible. That's what the word means. There was another shelter about 15 miles away that was open. They had always said they were ready to be a backup shelter for that shelter. Meanwhile, they were, during the storm, working. They were soliciting donations on their website. I was on the website when all this Twitter stuff was breaking. They were soliciting donations on the website, and they were getting ready to open as a drop-off shelter with goods and diapers and blankets and all that other stuff. That was always in the works, okay? They weren't responding to the social media stuff because they weren't paying attention to it. They were doing other things, okay? So that is true. The statement the church made was absolutely true. The church was inaccessible. It is prone to flooding, and they wanted to keep the church closed for a couple of days before they opened as a drop-off center and then a backup shelter. All true. All the claims on the web about, oh, they're lying to us, those are false claims, okay? So this is fake news. Then, when they did open up as a shelter, Twitter erupted and they patted themselves on the back and they said, "Oh, we did it, everyone. Too little, too late, but they opened. We did it with our Twitter activism," whatever it was. It's not true. Again, that's fake news. Then he made the rounds on the news, even on Fox News, and I thought most of the news media was picking up on the social media story, which was fake news. Even people on Fox News and even Kennedy today, they picked up the angle that somehow he was caught in a lie. It's not true, okay? The only person I've seen doing good reporting on this is Billy Hallowell, and I'm gonna tag him in this tweet and on Facebook. Look at Billy Hallowell on FaithWire. From the very beginning, he was on this story as fake news, and people said, "Well, why did it take him so long to open as a shelter?" Well, who are you to say? Were you some kind of shelter expert? They decided they couldn't open for a couple of days, then they did. But there's a lot of people on Twitter who are, miles and many states away saying that they know better. Well, why do they know better? I don't know. Basically because they made it up. Again, it's fake. So there was a storm. The church took a few days to open as a shelter and a drop-off center. They did that. That's a fact. There's no evidence to show that they did any lying or that anything is to the contrary. A lot of people don't believe them. That's your right to not believe them, but it's not news. It's fake news. You might not like mega churches. I don't care. You might not like Joel Osteen. I don't care. Again, it's fake. All right? And we shouldn't be reporting these apocryphal stories that appear on Twitter as news. Right? See you later.
Exploring topics big and small with fun and insight. It's the Tom Shillue Show.